interview.
Would you like some more tea?
Well, I guess I'll wait and see.
You cold?
Oh, I can't honestly say the shawl suits you.
It's my wife's.
Oh, well, it was Mrs. Touch's.
Now, don't put ideas in his head. He must keep his poor old legs warm.
You have no call to go abusing my legs. They're as good as yours.
You may abuse mine anytime you like.
You see, we're two lame ducks. Still, he is a good nurse.
I thought he was rather clumsy.
Well, he's not bad, considering he's not in much better physical shape than me.
Oh, come.
Tell me, have you ever been sick, Lord Warburton?
Once, in the Persian Gulf.
It's a sort of joke. He's making light of you.
I must say, you don't look as if you've ever been sick.
He's sick of life. He was just telling me so.
Well, if I am, your son gives scant comfort. Do you know, sir, he's a regular cynic.
It's his health. It affects his theoretical view of life. Practically, he is a cheery soul.
I find life interesting. I don't pretend like Warburton to be bored.
Well, I'm never bored when I come here. I get such uncommonly good talk.
Oh, is that another sort of joke? You know, you have no excuse for being bored with anything. If you had something to do, you wouldn't be bored. You young men, you're too idle and too rich.
Oh, come. It's hardly for you to accuse anyone of being rich.
I did not accuse you of simply being rich.
Oh, you mean it's all right to be rich if one is also industrious?
Where does that leave me?
Well, now, you're different. Yes, you're clever besides.
Oh, do you think so?
Another joke, Daddy.
You young men have too many jokes. When you have no jokes, you have nothing left.
Say, who's a pretty girl?
No idea.
You know, I have a feeling that that's my wife's niece.
Oh, I didn't know that arrived.
Neither did I.
You must be my cousin, Ralph Touchett.
Isabel Archer? Mm-hmm. My mother is really too much. How long have you been here?
About an hour.
She deposited you and just left again?
Oh, no. She went straight up to her room and will appear at dinner. I saw you from the window.
Well, it's really too bad.
Your mother tells me that in England, people arrive quietly.
Oh, not that quietly. Those are my mother's notions. Believe it or not, my mother has arrived, and this is Miss Archer.
I do wish you had given us a chance to receive you.
Oh, but we were. There were dozens of servants.
Oh, but we can usually do better than that.
This is a friend of ours, Lord Warburton.
I hope your journey was tolerable.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Traveling agrees with me. I'm so sorry you are not well.
Oh, I am an old man. It is time for me not to be well, I suppose. Still, I think I shall feel better for having you here.
It is very beautiful here. And I love your house. Is it very old?
Early Tudor, most of it.
It's delightful.
There are many better ones.
I have a very good one. In some respects, it's better, I think.
Don't you believe him? It's like an old barracks.
Perhaps I may show it to you sometime.
Oh, I should love to see it. I hardly expected to meet a real English lord the moment I arrived.
Well, I hope you're not too disappointed.
Oh, it's really much too early to say.
It's most unaccountable we've never met. I've been in New York several times.
There was some disagreement between your mother and my father after my mother's death.
But I don't embrace all my mother's quarrels, heaven forbid.
She's been very kind to me.
Well, from her one letter, it would seem she's adopted you.
Adopted? Oh, no. I'm not a candidate for adoption.
I'm sorry, I didn't
You
mean...
meant taken up? Yes, I suppose she has taken me up. I like her.
Oh? Why?
I don't know.
That's what everyone says.
Do they? Then I must think of a reason. Yes, surely it's because she doesn't expect to be liked.
Well, I think I should go see Mother.
You said that I said welcome home.
Zach would be a better word.
And what do you do, Lord Warburton?
Well, according to Mr. Touchett, very little.
Oh, I'm sure that isn't true.
Ah, you see, not everyone shares your view.
Who is it?
Me.
Oh, come in.
Oh, I'm all right.
Oh, you ought to get out of this cursed climate for good. 3 months a year is not nearly enough.
It is for me.
Well, you're as bad as your father. If he had any sense, he'd come and live in Florence.
He loves it here. He won't leave.
Then you should. In a warm climate, your lungs would heal properly.
To hell with my lungs.
How is he?
You'll see me out.
Oh, don't say that.
The doctors are vague. It's hard to say. I think he's glad you're home. Anyway, tell me about the young lady. You sprang her on us rather suddenly.
Well, I sent you a letter and 2 telegrams.
My dear mother, your letter was mainly about an hotel clerk who appears to have been very rude to you.
And so he was, and bone idle.
Exactly. I gained a vivid impression of him, so did my father. In fact, we both feel we could now pick him out in a crowd if the necessity ever arose. But about my cousin, you said very little.
Well, what do you want to know about her?
Your letter, you described her as independent. What do you mean by that?
Oh, I never know what I mean. Telegrams.
Then let's try a different approach. What do you plan to do with her?
Well, I shall ask your father. She can stay here for a while. Then I'll take her to Paris, buy some clothes.
And then?
Invite her to spend the autumn with me in Florence.
You don't rise above the tale, Mother. I mean, in a general way, what do you intend to do with her?
My duty, naturally.
Sounds a little dry.
Well, if it is, she'll water it. She carries her own summer rain with her.
Ah, she's gifted?
Well, she's a clever girl with a strong will and a high temper. As for her gifts, you'll have to find that out for yourself.
And, how do you get on?
Well, you ask that as if you were sure we don't.
No, I'm sure you do. You wouldn't have brought her if you didn't. But how do you get on?
Well, she's very frank, and I'm very frank, so we know what to expect of each other. Does that satisfy you?
Totally. At any rate, one thing is clear. It's a very frank relationship. And now tell me why you brought her.
Well, why else should I bring her here? Except that she was alone, and I thought it would benefit her.
You went there with that in mind, to bring her back?
Yes.
You never told us.
Well, I had it in mind, but I might have changed my mind. Why should I waste people's time talking about something that might never happen?
I wouldn't have considered it a waste of my time.
Well, I was thinking about my own. You're more prodigal of your time than I am.
Had you met her before? You see, I'm quite in the dark about everything.
Well, I haven't seen my sister's children for years. As you know, I disapproved of the father.
Yes, that I did know.
And I resolved that when he passed on and got his just deserts, I'd try and do something for them. So I found out where they were living and introduced myself.
They?
Yeah, she has 2 married sisters.
Well, what did they think of your bringing her back?
Oh, well, I only saw the elder one, Lily. She thought it was just the thing for her sister. You know, someone taking interest in her. She spoke very highly of her possibilities.
In what way?
Oh, I have yet to learn what her special line is.
She's pretty.
Think so?
But I wouldn't insist on it. It's her general air of being someone in particular that strikes me.
Well, if that's her special line, it's not a bad one.
Oh, it's not something she makes a specialty of. Tell me, do you think she's ambitious?
For what?
Oh, to marry an English lord, for instance. She's already made a hit with Warburton.
Oh, Warburton.
Well, he's not easily impressed.
Neither is she, I wouldn't wonder. As for her ambitions, I've no idea. She's not likely to confide in me.
You've still not told me what you intend to do with her.
Well, goodness, boy, she's not a yard of calico. She'll do exactly as she chooses. She's given me notice of that already.
Ah, high-spirited, huh? One more thing. You've no plan to marry her off?
Well, I brought her here to spread her wings, not clip them.
But she naturally has it in mind.
Well, I've no idea what she naturally has in mind. I believe there's a young man in Boston.
Well, there's always a young man in Boston. Fortunately, they leave them behind.
And why are you so interested?
That's it, really. She's interesting.